What if I told you one of Japan's rarest pickups was smaller than a vending machine and twice as useful? Ladies and gentlemen, and my friend Timmy, today we're looking at a vehicle so small, so absurdly optimistic, it makes my neighbor Bob's solar-powered lawnmower look like a military tank. Meet the Cony Guppy, a Japanese micro pickup from 1961 that answers the age-old question, what if your lunchbox could carry your groceries and also be your lunchbox? Folks, this isn't just a car. This is what happens when engineers say, let's build a truck, and then run out of budget, materials, and apparently adult supervision. Now, before we start peeling this sardine can on wheels, smash that subscribe button if you're for rare, ridiculous, and oddly adorable machines. All right, back to the Guppy. The Cony Guppy rolled into the world in 1961 courtesy of Aichi Machine Industry Company, a post-war Japanese company trying to transition from airplanes to whatever this is. Imagine you're an engineer with experience designing fighter planes, and your boss says, hey, forget jets, make a pickup for sushi delivery. And you do, badly, but also beautifully. This miracle of micro-transport was just 8 feet 5 inches long, 2,565 millimeters, and 4 feet 2 inches wide, 1,265 millimeters. And it only weighed 639 pounds, 290 kilograms, which coincidentally is about the same as Bob's emergency stockpile of dehydrated peas. But the Guppy had charm. It had suicide doors, four-wheel independent suspension, and a torque converter. Yeah, that means you didn't even need a clutch. Just get in, press go, and pray. Under the bed, yes, literally under the cargo bed, it packed a 199 cubic centimeter, two-stroke, single-cylinder engine with 11 horsepower, 8.2 kilowatts, that's right, 11 horses. Not stallions, more like 11 tired ponies on union brake. Top speed, 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers per hour. And if you ever reached that, congratulations! You were either falling downhill or being chased by an angry mob of scooter gangs. Fuel economy? Now here's where it gets good. The Guppy boasted 50 kilometers per liter. That's 118 miles per gallon for those of us still clinging to the imperial system, like Bob clings to his theory that birds are government drones. Inside, you had just 2 seats, a dashboard with the design sophistication of a rice cooker, and a steering wheel that looked like it had been borrowed from a child's go-kart. But it did have indicators the size of Christmas ornaments and brake lights you needed a magnifying glass to notice. Safety? Let's just say if you got hit in a Guppy, the only thing that survived was the memory. Now, the big question, why didn't it sell like takoyaki at a summer festival? Because in 1961, it cost 225,000 yen. That's around $625 at the time, which was a fortune for a K-class half-pickup, half-buggy mobile. For perspective, the average Japanese university grad was making 15,000 yen a month. So, yeah, you'd have to live in it. And let's be honest, with a body this small, even Timmy would struggle to stretch out in the back. And Timmy once fell asleep in a mailbox. Sure, the Guppy had potential, but motorcycles and scooters were cheaper, more agile, and didn't make you look like you were delivering mail from Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Still, we've got to give it some love, because what Aichi did here, turning aircraft tech into a cartoonishly compact cargo truck, was bold. I mean, it had a torque converter in 1961. Even some modern cars don't have that level of brainpower. And despite selling just over 5,000 units, the Guppy left enough of a mark that Nissan later reimagined it as the Datsun Baby. And folks, if the Guppy was the oddball uncle of the K-truck world, the Datsun Baby was its adorable helmet-wearing nephew with training wheels. Now get this. In 1965, Nissan had some leftover parts from their recent corporate entanglement with Aichi. So what did they do? Did they toss the scraps? Of course not. They built 100 special cars for a children's theme park called Kodomo no Kuni, which roughly translates to the land of kids who might crash into a duck. The Datsun Baby wasn't just a gimmick. It was a fully functional car, albeit one with its top speed hilariously neutered to 18.6 miles per hour, 30 kilometers per hour, by a mechanical limiter. Under the hood, or whatever you'd call the panel behind the seats, the Datsun Baby used the same 199 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine, but was dialed down to a 7.5 horsepower whimper to keep junior speed demons from ramping off the teacup ride. The car was made extra safe with raised pedals, surrounding steel bumpers, and enough body padding to make it look like it came out of a bouncy castle factory. And it wasn't just a fun little ride. The Datsun Baby was part of an actual educational driving course for kids. Imagine being a 10-year-old in the 1960s, sliding behind the wheel of your own baby car and learning how to steer, brake, and panic slightly when a duck walks across your path. Meanwhile, in my day, Timmy and I learned to drive by stealing his dad's tractor and racing it toward the river. I turned left. He turned philosophical. Anyway, the Datsun Baby didn't go on sale. It wasn't a commercial product. It was a pure goodwill project. Just 100 were made, and they stayed within the bounds of the Kodono no Kuni Park. And yet, they're legendary. Collectors hunt them like Indiana Jones chasing a matchbox car made of gold. Nobody knows how many survived, but let's be honest, the chances of seeing one today are about the same as Bob admitting the moon landing was real, and I believe that's what makes it so special. The Datsun Baby wasn't about specs or speed. It was about the crazy, beautiful idea that even a micro pickup could teach kids something, not just about driving, but about imagination, about possibility, about how cars, even weird ones, could bring joy. Now, if one ever hits an auction, which is about as rare as Timmy skipping happy hour, you can expect prices that make grown men weep into their carburetors. But honestly, if I had one of these, I'd park it in the living room and let the grandkids drive it in circles around the coffee table. Put it this way, if you see one for sale, buy it immediately, then frame the receipt and call your insurance company. They're going to cry. So hats off to the Guppy and its baby. They weren't perfect. Heck, they weren't even normal, but they were cool ideas. And that's what we're here for. Before you go, folks, you know what would really help keep Timmy from reviewing mopeds again? Become a sponsor of our channel. Links in the description. You'll help us track down more automotive oddities and maybe, just maybe, keep Bob from launching his homemade satellite into the neighbor's pool. See you next time. And if you hear a faint buzzing noise, don't worry. It's just the sound of a guppy still trying to hit 30.